It would be nice if I could actually see me being famous out there, but I've seen these same four walls for a year and a half.
After Joe Exotic's husband Dillon Passage would tease a new reunion episode of Tiger King to be released in the coming days.
Hey, what do you know about Netflix announced the other day that there's going to be another episode of Tiger King, like an update episode. Are you going to be featured in that?
No, I'm not actually. So it's going to be like a live-based episode, I believe, kind of like a reunion.
Okay. Oh, I want to host.
Yeah, but no, Netflix didn't contact me to be a part of that.
After Joe Exotic would be moved from the Grady County Jail to the Federal Medical Center at Fort Worth, Texas, due to concern that he had contracted COVID-19.
The man known to fans of Tiger King as Joe Exotic is now quarantined for coronavirus in a Fort Worth prison. Joe Maldonado Passage was sentenced to 22 years in prison after being convicted of more than a dozen counts of animal cruelty and conspiring to kill a woman.
After Joe Exotic would inspire some of the most prolific and popular internet memes of recent history and would find his face on t-shirt, cakes, and more, watch out for his face on a Baskin-Robbins cake, because we know he don't f with the word Baskin. You know what I mean? Been waiting all week to say that.
I'm as gay as a $3 bill, and I'm standing in a cage with 5 full-grown tigers and lions. And I'll goddamn guarantee I'm a hell of a lot butcher than any of you.
No, you are not experiencing deja vu. This is an updated video on everything that's happened with Joe Exotic since the release of Tiger King, the show that The Verge has stated is the most popular television series in the world at the time of this recording. Now, although behind bars, a lot has happened for Joe Exotic. For starters, his YouTube channel, which practically didn't even have a pulse, well, it's since shot up to 250,000 subscribers, and he's getting millions and millions of views a day. Now, this is much deserved because the guy has posted thousands of videos for years, and I'm gonna be honest, it was pretty quality content.
You want to play? Let's play. Before you online the other day at throwing me in your crap on Facebook. I have done nothing to you.
You haven't?
No.
Although it pains me to tell you guys that Joe, he isn't actually the one delivering the sultry vocals in the music videos. We'll get into that a little bit later. Now, there's so much more going on with Joe, including rumors all over the web that he contracted COVID-19. He's throwing in the flag on his beef with Carole Baskin. He's gotten shoutouts from the like of Cardi B and Dan Bilzerian, and he's reached out to President Donald Trump. Now, on top of all this, he's even got an $84 million lawsuit that he's cooked up from behind bars. Yeah, we got lots to get through. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Michael McCrudden back at it again with another Where Are They Now video, and I think this is our first update in this series. Now, if you're just tuning into this channel, we've done a Before They Are Famous on both Joe and Carole Baskin. Be sure to check those out after this one. Let me know who's next in the comments down below, and now let's get into this video. Joe Exotic was born. Hold on, you know what? I know this show has a formula to it, but I've already talked about his come up story twice, so if you want to know more about that, you gotta check out his Before They Were Famous. Now, as the story goes, Joe, he was born into a wealthy farming family with 4 siblings. He has 2 brothers and 2 sisters, with him dab in the middle. Now, there were no handouts. His parents, they weren't affectionate, and they never told him they loved him. Like I said, we're skipping all that, and we're picking things up from what's going on with Joe since the show's release. Now, for starters, does Joe Exotic have COVID-19? Well, that news, it spread like wildfire. I even saw Dan Bilzerian post the following. Just when I think can't get more f***ed up, the Chinese virus got Joe Exotic. Now, the truth of the matter, no one really knows for sure. Now, initial reports, they confirmed that he got exposed to the virus while locked up at Grady County Jail. Now, while in Andy Cohen's SiriusXM show, well, his husband Dillon Passage, he said that his current husband could not verify that Joe had contracted the disease. So, he was exposed, but we don't know if he actually tested positive.
They are putting him on like COVID-19 isolation because of the previous jail he was at. There were cases.
Wow.
So I have yet to speak to him since he's been moved.
So Joe Exotic is in his own COVID-19 quarantine right now.
From what I know, yes.
At this point, we kind of all have to wait and see if Joe did indeed contract the virus. Now, something about this diagnosis, it seems a little fishy to me. I mean, if he did test positive, I think we'd be getting a straight answer. For now, it looks like Joe, well, he may have ironically dodged that bullet. Now you're probably wondering what prison life is like for the old Joe behind bars. Well, it turns out that while Joe is decidedly unimpressed about being locked up, he has had enough time on his hands to look back at his life and reconsider some of his choices. For one thing, he's decidedly moved on from Carol Baskin. He stated,
I'm done with the Carol Baskin saga. It's now time to turn the tables and Joe get out of jail a free man and exonerated from all these charges.
But how exactly does Joe plan on turning those tables? Well, on March 17th, he filed a federal lawsuit against multiple government offices, including the U.S. Department of Interior, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the assistant U.S. attorney who prosecuted him, and several witnesses in the case. He's seeking a whopping $94 million in damages. And in the suit, he claims that he was singled out for prosecution because he is an openly gay male with the largest collection of generic tigers and crossbreeds. Now, we gotta be honest, I get why he included that first part. Sad as it is, people can still be mad bigoted. But I really didn't get that last part. Like, there must be some jealous cat owners out there who are writing Joe some angry letters in prison. Because believe me, he's getting a lot of mail. On Facebook, he's letting all of his followers know where they can write to him in prison. But if you're expecting Joe to write back, well, there's a bit of a catch. That's right. If you want to get your own personalized letter from Joe Exotic, all you have to do is become a Patreon. Seems like a win-win to me. But letters aren't the only form of communication that Joe has available to him in prison. He's also been in constant phone communication with the director of Tiger King. Now, apparently, he's absolutely ecstatic over the reception of the series and, of course, his newfound fame. Speaking to the LA Times, co-director of the series, Rebecca Chaiklin, well, she had this to say. You can hardly talk to him without him mentioning the amount of press he's getting. He says people are asking to see his Prince Albert and girls are sending him sexy bikini pictures, even though he's gay.
Let's get something straight.
Yeah, why the hell are women doing that? If they'd seen Tiger King, you'd think they'd be pretty clearly understanding that he ain't into the ladies. I mean, we're talking about a guy who married 2 dudes at once. Now, apparently, Joe, he's had enough time in between all the COVID concerns and bikini pics to reconsider at least one thing about his former actions.
Go sit in a cage with your animal for a week. I mean, when I left the zoo and I sent my chimpanzees to the sanctuary in Florida, and imagine what my chimpanzees went through for 18 years, I'm ashamed of myself.
Well, hey, that's a start, but I think all of us are finally getting a little taste of what it's like for our pets when they're locked up inside their house all day. I know I'm looking at my dogs a little differently. Now, speaking with the LA Times, well, co-director Eric Goad, he had this to say. I think he's trying to be an advocate for, no surprise, criminal justice reform. He's in a cage, and of course he's gonna say that he now recognizes what he did to those animals. With Joe, we have sympathy for him, but at the same time, he's someone who really knows what to say at the right moment. And boy, does Joe ever know that he's having a moment right now. Now, he's leveraging his newfound fame not only by issuing the lawsuit he's initiated, but by reaching out for help from the very top of the American political system. Now, he posted the following letter to his Facebook page in the hopes that his followers would get it to where it belongs. I'm talking about this guy. Whoops, sorry, I meant this guy. Wow, those two actually really do look alike. Anyway, let's read out the letter that Joe he sent to President Trump. Mr. President, I'm asking for a special investigation or a presidential pardon from the conviction I've just received. My trial was not about the truth, it was about the win for the prosecutors. Why do I say this? Because I can prove every lie and the US Attorney's Office had the proof to serve real justice, and they ignored using the evidence both sides had to present to the jury. Now he goes on to explain that he was wrongfully sent to prison, and then he pointed the finger at Jeff Lowe. He stated, I'm being sent to prison because a seasoned con man wanted my zoo so bad for free that he set me up in a plan he devised to look like I participated in his murder for hire scheme to get me out of his way to take over. His right-hand man and co-conspirator who helped devise the plan to avoid animal-related charges himself admitted under oath that he was offered $100K to get rid of me. And the other, his longtime hired man, a convicted felon, lied under oath saying I was involved in this plot and I could prove it. All my proof was turned over and completely ignored just to push an animal rights agenda to ban owning exotic animals. Mr. President, I am pleading with you to please have this looked into. I'm currently incarcerated at the Grady County Jail in Oklahoma and facing 20 to 50 years in prison for doing the same thing every zoo and sanctuary owner has to do at one time or another. Very respectfully, Joseph Maldonado Passage. Joe wants President Trump to do the right thing and either pardon or bond him out during this appeal. Will the Donald hear him out? Well, it's too soon to find out, but if someone close to Trump has his way, well, Donald will at least listen.
Well, he's asking for a presidential pardon. Do you know that he wants a presidential pardon?
I've heard that. Is that true though, or is that just someone coming up with it?
It sounds true.
It sounds like something Joe would ask for. Yeah,
it does. Yeah.
It's you guys really want it to be true, don't you?
Very much
certainly
so.
Do.
Not only do I want it to be true, yeah, it should happen. I think the way Kanye West and Kim Kardashian went into the White House and got that other person the pardon. I feel like you, Don Jr., can go in, make a meeting with your dad and go, look, I know we're all dealing with Corona and there's a lot going on right now, but at the same time, maybe a presidential pardon for poor Joe Exotic who's in there. And maybe we try to arrest Carol while we're at it.
Maybe not right now, but I could generally be for this just for the meme.
Yes.
And just for, frankly, watching the media reaction to this thing, because it would be... It would be pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's Donald Jr. saying that once this whole crazy pandemic thing is cooled down, well, he'll do his due diligence and get right on Joe's case. After all, Don Jr., well, he doesn't even know what Joe is guilty of.
I don't even know exactly what he was charged with. I watched the show, but it's I don't know exactly what he was, guilty of or wasn't. It doesn't seem like he was totally innocent of anything, but when they're saying we're putting this guy away for 30 years, I'm saying, it seems...
I guess solicitation of murder is something that the Trumps don't consider to be a punishable offense. But Donald Jr., well, he isn't the only celebrity that's become aware of Joe's case since Tiger King dropped. Now, Kim Kardashian, she expressed her doubt that Carol Baskin was really an innocent bystander in all of this. Jared Leto, the man who apparently returned from self-imposed exile to discover a world under quarantine, well, he quickly caught up with what all the rest of us were watching, and he posted the following image to Instagram. And then, of course, there's Cardi B, who wanted to start a GoFundMe on Joe's behalf to raise enough money to free the imprisoned animal lover, before being told that that's not a service GoFundMe is willing to provide. Not content to just let others fight his battles for him, well, Joe has also demanded a new judge preside over his civil lawsuit because, according to Joe, well, the one currently assigned to his case, Scott Palk, well, he has a tainted view and proven time and time again that he's a gung-ho animal rights activist and homophobic to boot. Whether or not Joe wins this petition will unfold over the coming weeks. Now, all the publicity Tiger King has garnered is a little bit of a double-edged sword for Joe. Co-director Eric Goad, well, he expressed the following concerns over the takeaway being shared across social media.
It's a little bit concerning for me that people who have seen the series walk away feeling that Joe should be sprung from jail.
But as much as fame taketh, it also giveth. And all of this notoriety has ensured that Joe's story will continue to be explored, exposed, and yes, even exploited. Now, as mentioned off the top of this video, there are rumors of an epilogue episode of Tiger King that could drop at any moment. An investigation Discovery has greenlit a new crime special titled Investigating the Strange World of Joe Exotic. This will dive even further into his story and explore secrets that Joe has been withholding with exclusive footage and new revelations on Carol Baskin. And of course, there's also the impending scripted version of the story starring Kate McKinnon as Carol, in which Joe would like to see either David Spade or Brad Pitt play him. What's funny in hearing that is that it probably made David Spade's day while ruining Brad's at the exact same time. You know what I mean? I mean, the man finally just won an Oscar for acting. Can we let him have his moment without, ruining it already?
Once upon a time in Hollywood, ain't that the truth?
If you were to ask me, I think Michael Keaton, he should get the part, but perhaps he's too old. Now finally, and perhaps most tragically, I'm here to inform you all that one of the true undeniable gems to have come out of Tiger Kings, well, it may not have been as authentic as we all thought. Now, the pure fire songs that Joe uploaded to his YouTube page, well, it turns out they aren't so much his as someone else's. Yeah, they were written and performed by Washington State musicians Vince Johnson and Danny Clinton, who have made songs for other hit films like Nude Nuns and Big Guns. Actually, with a filmography like that, Tiger King seems pretty on brand for them. Now, according to Johnson, they connected with Joe via an ad looking for someone to write a theme song for his private zoo, and it wasn't until months later that they realized Joe had gone full Milli Vanilli on them, and he passed off their work as his own. But hey, At least we'll always have this classic. And there's this one as well. These crack me up.
Woke up this morning with the sunshine in my eyes. All the clouds are gone and took the rain that came inside.
I'm not gonna lie, these are pretty fire. I mean, when does the soundtrack drop? I'm gonna pick up a copy. No wonder his YouTube channel is exploding. I'm not the only one who's jamming out to these tunes. Alright guys, it seems like this is as good a place as any to wrap things up there, so that's everything we can dig up on Joe Exotic. Now if you enjoyed this video, we also made a video on Don Lewis. That's right, we checked the septic tank. You can also check out our video on Carol Baskin, or for more on Joe's come up, his before they were famous. My name is Michael Credden, we drop a new video each and every day, so be sure to subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in another video. Boom!